Hello, class. Today we're going to learn how to write algebraic expressions. Now, before we start writing our expressions, you need to review and be familiar with all the different algebraic vocabulary, such as terms, coefficient, sum, difference, product, and quotient. Now, after you've familiarized yourself with these different terms, we can start trying to write our algebraic expressions. Looking at our first example, it says write the sum of 8 and an unknown quantity as an algebraic expression. So looking, we know that since it's a sum, we have an addition problem. Now, looking at what we have, it's the sum of 8 and an unknown quantity. So we know that our problem is going to have an 8 plus an unknown quantity. Now, an unknown quantity can be represented by any letter. So here, I'm just going to use the letter Y. So the sum of 8 and an unknown quantity, we write as 8 plus Y. Looking at our next example, our problem says write the quotient of an unknown quantity and 14 as an algebraic expression. So we know that the quotient is the solution to a division problem. So we have a division problem. Now, my two terms are of an unknown quantity. So again, I can use any letter to represent an unknown quantity. So I'm going to write Z. Again, it's a quotient, so I have a division sign. Now it says the quotient of an unknown quantity, that's our Z, and 14. So when we write out our algebraic expression, the quotient of an unknown quantity and 14, we write as Z divided by 14. We can also work backwards, and looking at the algebraic expression in numbers, we can put it in words. So looking at our example here, it says that write the algebraic expression 6 parentheses S plus 7 parentheses in words. So first I'm going to start with my 6. Now 6 is sitting next to the parentheses, so I'm going to write 6 times. Next, I'm going to deal with what's inside the parentheses. So looking first, I see that I have S. Now S, when we write it out, is called an unknown quantity. Now, the unknown quantity is plus 7. So that is an addition problem. So we know that in an addition problem, the solution is a sum. So I know that I have an unknown quantity plus 7. So the way I'm going to write this is first I have 6 times, all right? And now I have my unknown quantity plus 7. So that is called a sum. So it's 6 times the sum of what? Well, my S is my unknown quantity, the sum of an unknown quantity, and 7. Again, 6 parentheses S plus 7 parentheses. In words, we would write 6 times the sum of an unknown quantity and 7. Looking at another example, I see write 2 less than the product of 5 and an unknown quantity. So I know that product is a multiplication problem. So looking at what I'm multiplying, it's the product of 5 and an unknown quantity. So the way to write the product of 5 and an unknown quantity would be to write 5 plus a variable. So here I'm going to use the letter x. 5x is the product of 5 and an unknown quantity. Now, going back to the beginning of the problem, I see it says it's 2 less than the product of 5 and an unknown quantity. So 5x is my product of 5 and an unknown quantity. 2 less is telling me it's a subtraction problem. So I go 5x minus 2. So 2 less than the product of 5 and an unknown quantity would be 5x minus 2. Another example says, write the length of a rectangle is 3 less than twice its width as an algebraic expression. So looking at this, first I start with the length of a rectangle is 3 feet less. So I know that this is going to be a subtraction problem. So the first thing is I look at twice its width. So twice would be 2 times, and width would be my unknown quantity because I don't know the width. So I will use the letter W to represent width. So 2W is twice its width. Now going back, I see that the length of the rectangle is 3 feet less than twice its width. So I need to subtract 3 from the width. So minus 3. So the length of a rectangle is 3 feet less than twice its width is written as 2W minus 3.